Hello and welcome. My name's Andy Crook, and I'm your host for today's training topic on the power of affirmations and visualization. My mission is to help garage owners become more successful in business. And how do I do that? Well, I provide a free training topic most weeks on one of the 5 pillars of business I see. This week, we're talking about affirmation and visualizations. And we're in the planning pillar. And we're talking about how visualization affirmations can be powerful tools for personal and professional growth. We'll discuss what these techniques are, how they work, and provide some practical tips for incorporating them into your daily life and into your planning process. So we'll start off, we'll talk about what are visualizations and affirmations, and then we'll look at the science or the pseudoscience behind visualization and affirmations. And then finally, we'll look at some famous examples of where they're used and some quotes. And then, as always, we'll end with atomic action, what you can do to use visualization and affirmations in either your daily life or certainly in your planning process. So we'll start with the obvious, which is what are visualizations and affirmations? And we'll start with visualization. Visualization is the practice of creating vivid, detailed mental images of desired outcomes or experiences. When you visualize, you're not just seeing a static image. You're engaging all your senses. You might imagine the sights, the sounds, the smells, tastes, and even the physical sensations associated with achieving your goals. If your goal is to give a successful presentation, for example, you might visualize yourself standing confidently at the podium, feeling calm and preparing. You'd imagine seeing the attentive faces of the audience, hearing the sound of the applause at the end, and feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment being finished. That's what a visualization is. So you're creating detailed mental images of desired outcomes or experiences. Affirmations, on the other hand, are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. They're designed to challenge and overcome self-sabotage and negative thoughts. Affirmations are always phrased in the present tense, as if the desired outcome is already happening. They're personal, specific, and packed with positive emotion. For instance, instead of saying, "I hope I don't mess up this presentation," you might use an affirmation like, "I am a confident and engaging speaker. My presentations are always well received." So affirmations are phrases that you repeat to yourself regularly that are positive and in the present sense. So that's what are visualizations and affirmations. And it's interesting to see what the science is behind visualization affirmations. Is there any science or is it pseudoscience? And I suppose the jury's out. So let's sort of explore that a little bit further. So you're probably all aware that your subconscious plays a vital role in shaping your beliefs, habits, and behaviors. And when you engage in visualization and affirmations, you're essentially communicating directly with yourself, with your subconscious self, helping to reprogram your subconscious with positive, goal-oriented thoughts. So there has been loads and loads of scientific research in sports psychology, and it has been particularly revealing in as much as studies have shown that athletes who visualize techniques, often called what athletes refer to as a mental rehearsal, can improve their performance as much as those who engage in actual physical practice. Now, that mental rehearsal is a way of programming your subconscious into shaping what it is you want to achieve, whether they be beliefs, habits, or behaviors. And it comes down to something called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural pathways and connections. And understanding neuroplasticity is crucial to understanding why or how possibly visualization and affirmations work. When we constantly practice these techniques, we're actually creating and strengthening neural pathways associated with our goals and our positive self-image. Moreover, the power of positive thinking, which is at the core of affirmations, has been well documented, and you can find scientific publications on that very subject. It's the same with visualization. As I said earlier, if you look at research into sports psychology, positive mental rehearsal is almost as beneficial as actual physical rehearsal. If you can't imagine yourself achieving something, then the chances are we won't be able to achieve it. And it's as simple as that. And you probably have all heard of the visualization being used in, but probably less so in business or in your daily life. And we're trying to bring over the lessons learned in mental rehearsal across to running a garage. So let's move on to some famous examples and maybe a few quotes and some stuff that we can relate to finally get an idea of what it is we're talking about. So probably the most famous example is Napoleon Hill, who in the early 20th century conducted extensive research on successful individuals and published the book Think and Grow Rich in 1937. It suggested that successful people often use visualization techniques, imagining their desired outcomes vividly and repeatedly. Hill wrote about the concept of what he called burning desire, arguing that when you combine intense desire with visualization and persistent action, you create a powerful force to achieving your goals. Now, what's key there about what Napoleon Hill actually wrote, and what's misunderstood, and I suppose often people misquote is what he actually said is what burning desire is when you combine intense desire with visualization and persistent action, you create a powerful force for achieving your goals. Just imagining something's going to happen won't make it happen. It was what he said. You have to then go and take steps and action towards those goals. So more recently, in the early 2000s, a book and a quite famous film was called The Secret, brought the concept of law of attraction into the mainstream. The central idea of the book and the film was that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. And it's called the law of attraction. Now, the book is slightly different to the movie. The movie, I think, is available on sort of the online TV and film stuff like Netflix or whatever. It's worth having a look at because the film was quite heavily criticized, where the book isn't so much. And I guess it's the editor's cut of what the people in the book say, or what they said in the book, that they were willing to go on behind the camera or in front of the camera and say everything they said obviously didn't make the final edit, and therefore the editor has obviously put their own narrative on the movie, which is somewhat dissimilar to the book, should we say. And while the scientific community has debated the validity of the claims made in The Secret, it undeniably sparked widespread interest in the power of positive thinking and visualization. It's certainly where I got the idea. I'll speak about that in a second. It's from the book. And much more recently, there was a follow-up book called The Power, and it expanded on those same ideas, emphasizing the importance of love and gratitude in manifesting desired outcomes. And there is once again, scientific research that agrees and disagrees with what was published in The Power. But there is no doubt that whether you believe in the science or the pseudoscience behind visualizations and affirmations, both were the books and the film, The Secret and the Power, popularized practices like creating vision boards, collages of images representing one's goals and desires as a form of visual affirmation, and also the, the chanted or the repeated to yourself regularly positive statements in the present tense. I would say the Secret in particular is probably the thing that brought it into the mainstream. So here's some quotes so you can get an idea of exactly what we're talking. And probably the most famous one is this one. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Often attributed to Henry Ford, this quote beautifully summarizes the self-fulfilling nature of our beliefs. If we believe we're capable of something, we're more likely to take the necessary action to achieve it. Conversely, if we believe we can't do something, we're less likely to even try. And I'll give you the example that always sticks out to me is when someone says to me, I can't do math or maths. I don't get it. I can't do it. They've created in their mind a self-fulfilling prophecy that they will never be able to do maths. If they said, instead, I don't understand this particular aspect of maths, but I will do everything I can to learn it, that would be a different outcome for them. Because what they're doing, if you believe in the policy of neuroplasticity, is they're reorganizing and forming neural pathways. Even if you didn't get maths or didn't do maths or school, you can learn it now. And I'd argue that it's very important for business people to understand the basics of some of the math that you need to do your financial reports. And I often hear when I speak to technicians about diagnostics or training, or I don't get electrics, I don't understand electrics. That's exactly the same thing as that I can't do maths. You're telling yourself you can't, therefore you won't. If you said, I don't understand electrics now, I'm willing to do something about it, that's a totally different conversation with yourself. So what we're saying is, in essence, visualization and affirmations are tools that help align our conscious desires with our subconscious beliefs, creating a powerful synergy that can drive us towards or away from our goals. It's important to know while these techniques are powerful, they're not magic. They work best when they're combined with atomic action. So I'll give you a little bit more sort of idea about how these can actually work on, and a little bit more about why we need to do it and what we need to do as we go forward. So the key to both visualization and affirmations is consistency and belief. They're not one-time exercises, but practices to be integrated into your daily routine and your planning routine. While they might feel a bit awkward or artificial at first, with regular use, they can become powerful tools for personal and professional development. So what we're saying here is if you don't believe it or you don't practice it consistently, then it won't be that powerful. You can't start creating, new neural pathways and connections within the brain if you do something once. It's a bit like, I don't know, John. If you want to run a marathon, you've got to put in a fair bit of training. It's not going for one run and expecting to be able to run a marathon. It's the same with these exercises. And I can see we're starting to run out of time, but I want you to think about this. If you've ever had an incredibly vivid nightmare, you know the power the brain has on the physical body. The brain cannot actually distinguish between an imagined event, such as an emotion, to an actual event. It doesn't have that processing power. So if you can make your visualizations as clear and as vivid as your worst nightmare, but in a positive way, you will have the same effect on you physically as the actual event. And that in itself is powerful. Because if you think about waking up from a nightmare, you may have an elevated heart rate, slightly sweaty, maybe even out of breath. That is exactly the negative effect of a visualization. Whereas a positive effect, quickly you feel like you've accomplished something or that you've achieved something. Because when we do a visualization, we should never visualize the process. We should only ever visualize outcomes, successful outcomes, if we are to be successful. And this is the basis of the 10-year vision. If you ever hear me talking about planning, it always starts with a long-term vision. I typically use 10 years. And what I ask people to do is think about what does that look like? What does success look like for you? And then I ask people to continually make that picture brighter, make the colors more vivid, add more and more detail, add sounds. What does it smell like? What do you feel like achieving that vision? And that is what I want people to visualize. And the reason for that comes about because of visualization. And it started in a book called The Secret. That's where I first got that idea. You can also apply that to your 3-year goals. So you can have your 10-year vision, and you can make that a nice, bright, vivid picture of the sensations, smells, all of that. You can also add it to your goals, your 3-year goals, your 1-year plan. What does it look like? What does the end of the year look like? What does your staff class look like at the end of this year? Your 90-day objectives, or even your to-do list. And that could be weekly or your daily to-do list. We just have to imagine what it looks like to have a successful day at the beginning. It sounds a bit woo, but it does work, because what you're doing is processing your brain or encouraging your brain to only work towards the goals. So your subconscious is making decisions that you're not even conscious of, obviously, because it's your subconscious, that is going to make you more and more successful. You're going to take steps that make you more and more successful, subconsciously rather than conscious. And if you start every day with a mantra, repeat out loud what you want to achieve and how you want to be perceived. And how I sort of summarize it. So every day, start the day by saying what you want to achieve and how you want to be perceived. And that's not a bad way of doing the affirmations as opposed to visualizations. So what is the atomic action with visualization and affirmations? Well, start by making your personal business vision more and more vivid. Add the sounds, the smells, and the emotion to the mental picture of your success. That's the first thing you can do. You can start thinking about that on a daily, weekly, monthly, 90-day, 1-year, 3-year, and 10-year plan. And you sit down and think about what it looks like, make it more and more of it. And believe it or not, that makes it more likely to help. When you describe yourself for your business, always use positive words and never, ever put yourself down. If I've made you think even a little bit about visualization and affirmations and how they can use them in your business or even in your personal doing, then I've done my job. Thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day.